When it's time for the moment, you already know. Flip the channel, hear that voice. Big stakes, big stage, one choice. From the coin toss to the last shot, he break it all down on the spot. Sideline swagger, zip up jacket, notes in the pad, whole board mapped it. Every city, every loud crowd chanting. If the trophy on the line, he's standing. It's the KR Big Game Show. You feel that buzz soon as lights go. If it's win or lose, he gon' be there. Talking every play like fresh air. Bills Mafia riding, whole nation loud. Big smile steady in the tensest crowd. When the big game hit, he don't call for show. It's the KR Big Game Show. KR in the zone. When it's time for the moment, you already know.
Ladies and gentlemen, the KR Big Game Show with your host, Big Game Kerry Reeves.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry about the confusion of everything with the theme and all that. I got my theme going. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday night. Hope the weekend was great to y'all. We're going to get to talking some big games. It's got some big stuff that happened this past weekend, and they're going to get some bigger stuff coming up this weekend. But before we get started, I just want to let everybody know that thank you for watching Rebels with a Cause channel. I'm happy to be a member of this channel. We're still at 194 subscribers, over 20,000 views. So keep punching that like button and keep sharing our cause so we can get other people to enjoy it. The opinions and views of KR's Big Game Show are not of any organizations, entities. They are solely of the Artwack family and guest panelists and views. And if you're out there listening tonight and you want to come on and get your 5 minutes worth of time to speak your piece, speak whatever you want to talk about, what's going on in sports, I will put up the link right here for everybody to come watch. That is our link to come join and watch her to join in and talk about sports and everything else tonight. We're going to have a good time. Tonight, we're going to start off talking about some things that we normally don't talk about. I don't get a chance to talk about except Wednesday nights. The NBA All-Star Game was won by Team Stars in a three-way round-robin format. Anthony Edwards was named the MVP. What were your thoughts on the format, and why has All-Star Weekend gone downhill? My thoughts are the fact that this game was played on a Sunday afternoon, in the middle of a Sunday afternoon. The way All-Star games used to be when I was growing up was okay. The format, I just don't agree. You have a round-robin one-quarter format trying to get 4 games in at one time, and Team Stars won the competition. And it was all trick shot. It was basically the same thing with All-Star games. Low scoring, effort was not really put in. Everything just seemed like it was just choreographed and not exactly put up to the levels of which it should have been, like in the past. All-Star Saturday also has gone down quite a bit. You got the celebrity game on Friday, which I love, and you got the Rising Stars game, which is fun because the rookies and the second-year players, you get to see them go at it, and that's always a lot of fun. But to me, All-Star Saturday was where the All-Star Weekend was made. You have the three-point shootout, which was won by Damian Lillard, who's been hurt all year, nursing a torn ACL, but he looked like he was in really good shape, out there hitting hoops, stationary hoops, of course. And then the slam dunk contest, which to me has really gone downhill since the days of the 80s and 90s. It's just gone, and even the 2001 when Vince Carter won, it has gone downhill since. And a lot of people want to blame LeBron James for not participating, and he deserves part of the blame because he made it a point not to do what the other legends did, like Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Kenny Walker, even Vince Carter, Jason Richardson. A lot of those guys in the past that have won slam, like Kobe Bryant participated in the slam dunk contest. Michael Jordan participated in a three-point shootout. Yes, that's because the three-point shootout has become a bigger event than the slam dunk contest. You got G Leaguers that are in the slam dunk contest now, and they are winning the slam dunk contest. That's how far the dunk contest has gone hell. This format, to me, this is a new first time for this format. I'm dying to see how it goes for future reference for years on, but I was not really impressed with the format. I'm not really impressed. Sure, there are people there that deserve to play, and there were people there that made the effort, but the all-star effort is just not what it used to be anymore. It really isn't. You've got the end of the NFL season, and you have the beginning of the NASCAR season, which we will discuss a little bit later with the Daytona 500, and the Olympic and the Winter Olympics going on. And that just came, the All-Star game just kind of fell into the cracks this year. The NHL is not going to have an All-Star game because, of course, they're at the Olympics, and that would be fun. But Adam Silver also, too, during this time, talked about some of the issues that he's having, like tanking. Some of these teams, there's incentive now to not play your starters as much as you can. You've got teams that are just tanking, try to get these top 13 picks that are coming in the draft, because some of the mock drafts that have shown up and come out through, some of these guys are just not doing anything. And Frankie Dog, how you doing tonight, man? Yes, he did. He did ruin it, slammed it by ducking it. Yep. And he'll never be forgotten for it either. That's just an unbelievable thing that he has done. He just followed the truth that the legends don't follow. Good to hear from you tonight, Frankie Dog. And yes, he kind of ruined things in the NBA as well, but he just doesn't know when to walk away from the NBA. And I agree with you there, man. I really do. But the format here just wasn't great. Adam Silver talked about tanking as part of the problem, but also another part of the problem is paying these outrageous ticket prices. And then when you get to the arena, the people that you paid that outrageous money to see is not even playing. This load management bit, I've never liked load management. I never will like load management. I'm used to being like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s when you showed up to play a game, you showed up to play a game. Unless you were genuinely hurt, you showed up to play. You came out there and you played, and you put a show on for the fans. The fans paid big money. I mean, it's gotten to a point now where people would rather go see hockey games, would rather go see college basketball, because they know they're going to get the best team. They're going to get to see the best players in college basketball every night. And it's so sad. It's just unbelievably sad what the NBA has dragged themselves down to. It's just disappointing to me that the All-Star weekend just isn't what it used to be. But let's get to college basketball. And this is where the fun's going to be. You got they're setting themselves up for a fantastic weekend. For history purposes, this is the first time in the regular season this Saturday coming up that the top 4 teams are playing each other. You got Arizona and Houston, which is playing at 4:00 on Saturday. And right after that, in Washington, D.C., you've got Duke versus Michigan, and game day is there. It's going to be a big deal. ESPN got both of these games. They lucked out and got both of these games. One is on ABC, the Arizona-Houston game. The other game is going to be on ESPN at 6:30 that night with Duke and Michigan. They got both of these games, and the impact that these games are going to have, this might well be your Final Four. Now, we've seen in years past, we've seen one versus 3. We've seen 2 versus 4. We've seen 2 versus 3. We've never had a weekend where the top 4 teams are going to face each other. This is absolutely amazing. You got one great first game is Arizona and Houston, and that is going to be a barn burner in Houston. That is going to absolutely. I saw Kingston Fleming last night put on an absolute show last night against Iowa State, and Arizona's coming off 2 straight losses. So I'm looking to see how they rebound after the week they had 2 close losses. And that's no shame in losing to Kansas and in losing at home to Texas Tech. Texas Tech has beaten people on the road this year. They've beaten Houston. They've beaten Arizona. They've gone to Kansas and won. There's no shame in losing to a great team. This is what a great game is going to be. And this is really, I think this is the first of 2 matchups that they will play each other in the next 3 weeks with Arizona and Houston. And second meeting going to be in Tucson at McHale. The Duke-Michigan game is what everybody's talking about. Everybody's been talking about this game for the last few weeks. You got Duke, number 1, coasting through the ACC, beating their only 2 losses, folks. They had 14-point leads. They had 14-point leads in both of those games in the second half. Those are only 2 losses, or they would be undefeated. Michigan is taking on Purdue tonight, so I'm dying to see how that game goes and see how they prepare themselves for Saturday in Washington, D.C. What a great neutral site for this game. And ESPN Game Day is going to have the experience. It's going to have the whole field there. It's going to be a fantastic day. What do you think about these games? You got other games going on that weekend too. You got the SEC really starting to take shape with some of their schedule making. I mean, with their games coming up. You got the ACC trying to jockey themselves into position, trying to really jockey themselves into position for a great run in March. Big 12 is still doing their thing. You got quality teams. The Big 10 is trying to keep themselves. Illinois had a tough week. Michigan State's had a tough week, but they're still contenders. You got Purdue, who is still a contender. And Nebraska has fallen off a little bit, but they're still around. You got other great stories that are out there too, like Miami of Ohio. This has got a chance for March Madness to be one of the best March Madnesses in the history of the NCAA tournament. You've got so many storylines. You got so many things, so many great players. These conference tournaments are going to carry, and for the first time, I believe in a long time, these conference tournaments are going to carry some weight into March Madness. It's going to dictate how many some of these guys play in in the conference tournaments to get ready for March Madness. I think the conference tournaments are ones where you've got a lot of freshmen that may not be there next year. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys. As they say, get a ticket. If you're in the area where a conference tournament's going on or a next college basketball game or March Madness, get a ticket. I saw the ticket forms go out this week for March Madness for the regional sites. It's going to be a lot of fun. Those tickets are going to go like pancakes and gangbusters quick. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be fantastic. The college basketball right now is just at a great place right now. And I can't forget about last year's defending champions, the Florida Gators. Seems like they're finding their stride. It's a different cast, but they're finding their stride, and they're becoming probably, to me, the most dangerous team in college basketball. They're going to be tough to deal with in the SEC. The bubble watch this year, you may have some very good teams that are on the bubble watch that may not get into the tournament because of their RPI being low, because of their strength of schedule being low. There's a lot that could happen in the next few weeks. And I want to see what the top 16 seeds are going to be, because that gives you an idea of who's in position to do what. Right now, you're looking at these two games this weekend with Arizona, Houston, Duke, and Michigan. You're possibly looking at 4 number 1 seeds. You're looking at probably the 4 number 1 seed right now. If you're favored for the 4 number 1 seeds, you're looking at these 4 teams, no matter what happens. The only thing is, the winners of these games, you're thinking of like overall number 1 seed, overall number 2, overall number 3, and overall number 4. You're looking at it, basically some of these teams may be just jockeying for position. But either way, this weekend is going to be absolute fire. It's going to be absolute gas with these 2 games, let alone all the other games that are happening all across the country. But these 2 games everybody's talking about, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of excitement. If you guys want to fill up that comment box, fill up that chat box. Let me know what you guys think so far. College basketball season, how much fun it has been so far. Let's get to the next category, which is the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics has been probably the most fun Winter Olympics. And seeing some of the issues they're up that I have seen today was actually the first day watching the ski, and that it actually snowed. That real snow was coming down, that it was really cold. People were bundled up the way the Winter Olympics used to be, not when the sun's shining and the snow is melting and everything else. You've got the women's hockey team that is going for gold on Thursday against Canada. You got the men who start the quarterfinal round Thursday as they go for gold, as they will be the last event of the Winter Olympics Sunday afternoon before the closing ceremonies. You've got it's figure skating tonight with the ladies competing, and you've had pairs competition. We've not done well in that. The men's competition, that was just a heartbreaking display by Elon the other night. Heartbreaking display, went from 1st to 8th, didn't even medal. Curling has been very exciting. The skiing has been exciting. The speed skating has been very exciting. We've cleaned up in a lot of those medals in the speed skating. Jordan is one of the best in the world. He's got 2 gold medals. Bobsled, we have done relatively well in every Olympic event that has been out there for us to score a medal in. We have done really well. We've been a balanced team. Norway still leads the competition. We're still in 3rd for overall medals. I think we're up to 21 now, which is fantastic. But the main event, of course, is coming up, is USA versus Canada women Thursday for the gold medal. And then you got the men going into have to win 3 more games Thursday, Friday, and Sunday to win the gold medal. Very exciting times for the Winter Olympics. Have you guys enjoyed the coverage of the Olympics? I think the coverage of the Olympics has been very well ran, has been terrific. They've shown the highlights at night, but then during the day, you've seen a lot of live action, which has been really, really fun. Been really cool, really fun, and it's been exciting. I've enjoyed it. I've really sat back and just enjoyed how everything is building itself up and how everything is just going down. So, and now we get to the next issue. We got the NFL. No NFL for about 155 days before training camp opens up in mid-July. And we look back on the past year. I always like to do a year in review. But my biggest story in the past year, what was your biggest story when you talk about biggest story? Was it the parity? Was it there are so many different teams that had a chance to get to the Super Bowl? Was it the injuries? Seems like a lot of stars got injured at critical times this year and wiped out seasons. Or was it the coaching changes that happened right directly after this regular season was over? I thought the playoff games were some of the best humanly possible, and we have a deserving champion with the Seattle Seahawks They beat the Niners, they beat the Rams, and they beat the crap out of the Patriots. They beat the 3 teams they were supposed to win the Super Bowl. I thought New England, having the easiest schedule in NFL history, goes from 4 wins to 14, ends up winning 16, but then we saw what happened in the Super Bowl when they got overmatched. My Bills, tough year, good year, middle was tough, end was okay, but then the disaster in Denver happened, and the next thing you know, we're changing coaches, and I think we're going to be better for it with Joe Brady at the helm. I'm really looking forward to the offseason because there's a lot of big names. There's a lot of big names that could either be on the trading block or that could be released. We saw Tyreek Hill get released yesterday. We saw Bradley Chubb get released yesterday. And what upsets me more than that, because teams were trying to offer to trade them in the regular season, and Miami wouldn't pull the trigger, which led to Chris Greer, their general manager, being fired. And now, instead of getting something for them, if you had traded them during the season last year, you got nothing. You cut them, you cut the money. Yes, you may save money, but you get nothing in return for them. You don't get extra picks. You don't probably get another player. You don't get anything for it. And that's kind of a backwards way of doing business, at least in my end. And just the NFL and the ratings alone this year, they said, I read a report the other day, this is one of the highest rated seasons that the NFL's had in a long, long time. And I think that's got a lot to do with the parity that happened. That's got a lot to do with the growth of the game. The growth of the game has just been so unbelievable. And I think college football has helped to the growth of the NFL because college football has grown into now NIL, transfer portal. It feels like now you're watching the NFL all year round because salaries, cuts, trades, drafts coming up in April, which is there's a lot of good players available in April, and the big stories this year and everything that's going on. The NFL's been an interesting year. I'm going to ask you guys, the viewers that are out there, what was your biggest thing this year with the NFL? What made you watch? What glued your eyeballs right to the TV? For me, it was the anything can happen. Anything can happen. You knew who your good teams were. You knew who you had a feeling you knew who your bad teams were. You didn't know who your good teams were going to be until the middle of October. Then you saw some things and just went, oh, wow, look at this. And then the Patriots coming out of nowhere. I mean, the Patriots started off 1-2. They lost to the Raiders and they lost to the Steelers, but somehow they rebounded themselves and to win the AFC East. You had Jacksonville, who only won five games last year, sneak up and win the AFC South. You had Houston, who's been a perennial playoff team, struggle on offense, but end up fielding one of the best defenses in the league, and they were setting records being on defense, what they were doing. Of course, in the NFC, you had Seattle, who missed the playoffs a year ago by one game, went from missing the playoffs to being the number one seed, the NFC. And how close was that series with them and the Rams? One possession really was the difference between if that comeback in the second game, if Seattle does not make that comeback, think of how the season would have went. Rams win that second game in Seattle. The Rams would have been the number one seed. would have hosted games. They are probably in the Super Bowl, but no, because of the comeback that Seattle did, Seattle won that game. They won the West. They stayed at home and ended up in the Super Bowl, where the Rams had to go try to win 3 games on the road in Carolina, which was tough, in Chicago, which was tough, and then in Seattle, and they just ran out of steam and ran out of gas and was familiar with a team that knew how to deal with them. What a season that the NFL had. They should be very happy about it. The salary cap is going to be somewhere between $305 million and $312 million. So that's going to give some teams a little bit of leeway to help them with figuring out what they're going to do. You've got, today was the beginning of the franchise tag. You could either franchise tag a player or you could transition tag a player. Transition tag means a little bit less money and gives a team a chance to match the offer. Franchise tag kind of does too, but franchise tag, when you tag somebody franchise, most teams will not offer to match the deal that a team has set. Some of the names that are out there could be George Pickens, could be AJ Green, there's a lot of possibilities. This offseason could be very busy, and the official NFL offseason begins March the 3rd, which leads us into the draft in April, which is going to lead us right near training camp. And it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot to discuss. I want to hear what you guys think. And we're going to get to another competition that we hardly ever talk about is the Daytona 500. I had a chance to watch the race fully on Sunday, and it was a great race. Had a major caution in the middle of the race that changed everything, that changed the outlook. Bubba Wallace led the most laps, but finished 9th. Tyler Reddick, who was your winner of the Daytona 500, led 1 lap, the final lap. After a major crash with 4 laps to go, he led the 1 lap at the end. And Michael Jordan, who owns the car that Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace drives, is a winner for the first time of the Daytona 500 as an owner. Michael Jordan continues, no matter what year, what era, to amaze people all with his business leadership and his savvy for knowing great athletes. He's a Daytona 500 champion. He won the Super Bowl first for the year. He's been a national champion. He's been an NBA champion, and now he's a Daytona 500 winner as an owner. What an amazing accomplishment for Michael Jordan. What an amazing accomplishment for Tyler Reddick and that whole entire team. They performed very well. I think Jordan, outside that, had 3 top 10 teams, top 10 drivers, which was the most out of any of the crew there at Daytona this week. The celebrities were out in full force. I love seeing Puka Nacua. John Gruden, former coach, was out there. You saw Samuel L. Jackson. You saw a lot of other celebrities. You saw Kurt Russell, who was the driver. Great atmosphere. The race was started in the afternoon, actually finished in the afternoon, didn't have any weather delays. It was fantastic. The viewing was great. And the 3rd lap around on that Sunday was the 25th anniversary of us losing Dale Earnhardt at the Daytona 500. So on the 3rd lap, all the drivers slowed down and stuck their hand down, put up the number held up the number 3 for the great Dale Earnhardt to honor him and his family. That was a fantastic race. Great outcome. Great viewership for that race. The ratings for that race was really, really solid. If you guys have any comments, any questions, get in that link. I'm gonna put the link up on top for anybody to come and want to talk for about 5 minutes or so. Speak your mind, talk about what's going on out there in your aspect in the world of sports. And we had a couple of starts this weekend. We had Tennessee baseball. I'm going to do some local stuff here. Tennessee baseball. The Josh Elander era started off at the new Lindsey Nelson Stadium. And if, by the way, you live here in Knoxville and you haven't gotten a chance to get out there and check out that stadium, you need to go check it out because it is absolutely unbelievable. They started out with a sweep of Nichols State, with victories of 10-0, 5-1, and 12-2. They had 3 great crowds, nothing but fun. Had a great time. It was fun. Let's address the elephant in the room. I don't know what Frankie, I have no idea what Michael was doing with that kid. I have no earthly idea. I just have no clue what was going on with that. I tried not to look at it after a while, but I just couldn't ask myself what was going on. Had to sweep. The men's basketball team defeated both Mississippi State and LSU, two tough battles. They have won 6 out of their last 7, and if they could figure out how to hold a lead to Kentucky, they would probably be in second right now in the SEC men's basketball conference behind Florida. And Florida right now is just cooking on all cylinders. I'm telling you, that's a dangerous basketball team that they're just starting to find themselves, to get themselves back in the national championship teams. This is where they peaked last year. They started peaking last year right around this time, and they started carrying things all the way through. Baseball team's just getting started. Baseball season's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of shocking stuff around college baseball this year. And when basketball gets done, we're going to really start focusing in the college baseball and talk about the NFL and everything else as well. You also had the Lady Vols this weekend, and what a great game. What a great time they had down in Clearwater. Shout out to them for being the unanimous #1 team in the country for the first time since 2012. Days of Monica Abbott pitching. This team looks like they're going to be the real deal all year. They're going to be competing. They hit the ball for average. They hit the ball for power, and they run around the bases. This looks like it's going to be a fun team to follow, fun team to watch. And everybody is going to get involved. We got so much stuff getting involved when it comes to softball, when it comes to baseball, college softball. And if you got a big game performer of the week, let me know who you got out there, big game performances of the week. This week, I want to talk about the U.S. women's hockey team. How impressive have they been through the Olympics so far? They have they have given up goals to their opponents. They have outscored their opponents 32-1 in 5 games. I don't care what level of hockey you're on. That's very impressive. They've gone out there and they have basically, every time they've put boots to asses, they've put the boots to everybody's asses all week. It's been a lot of fun. They get to play Canada tomorrow morning for the gold medal. Tomorrow morning here, tomorrow afternoon over in Milan. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch and see if they can finish the job, bring home that gold for the USA. They're one of the big game performers this week. Another big game. I saw a couple other big game performances. Nate Ament at Tennessee. This freshman is coming on really, really strong, showing everybody that early in the season had his struggles. Listen to Coach Barnes. Coach Barnes said he was going to come on middle of the year, get going to the end. He's showing his talent, and I think right now he could carry this team as far as this team is going to go as far as he can carry them. Carlos Boozer Jr. Another great performance on Saturday with him going against Duke, going against Syracuse, going against Clemson. Just a man amongst boys out there. They're getting ready for that big major matchup with Michigan on Saturday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be everything. I hope both of these games Saturday with Arizona and Houston and Duke and Michigan live up to the hype of being such fantastic basketball games. I want to see great basketball. I want to see the players decide it. I don't want to see the referees decide it. I want to see the players decide these games, because that's how it should be. The players are making enough. They're being paid NIL. They're playing for they're playing for money. They're playing for titles. They should be the ones to decide this game. And I'm hoping that Saturday we get both great games, and everybody talks about how this is going to be. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be entertaining. And I want to thank everybody tonight. Let's see. And those are my big game performances of the week. If you got any big game performances of the week, you got a chance to hit the comment box and say hi to everybody. Say hi to me. Say hi to everybody. This has been a fun show tonight. We guys talked about everything. We have talked about everything that's going on right now. We got stuff to look forward to. You got games this weekend, NCAA. You got the Olympics, which is finishing up on Sunday. You got closing ceremony Sunday afternoon there. They'll be shown Sunday night here. in America, the U.S. men, hopefully with the U.S. men's hockey team playing in a gold medal game Sunday afternoon, winning that gold medal. That would be so much fun. Go for the girls to get their gold. We got skating going on tonight, which is going to be see if our third place girl gets a chance to medal. It's going to be a great finish to the Olympics. Great finish to the Olympics. So thank you everybody for joining me tonight. This has been fun. It's always great to get on here. It's always great to talk about everybody else. And I just want to let everybody know when I speak it, it's a big game. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will see you once again next week at the same time, 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. So long, everybody.